Welcome back, guys. This is day 7 of our series Learn SQL with Shrikant. So in this one we are going to talk about TCL commands. Let's start. TCL. TCL stands for Transaction Control Language. It manages transaction in a database. We already talked about that. So there are three important commands here: the commit, rollback, and save space point. Or save transaction. You can say. So let's start with the commit. So what is the purpose of the commit? It saves all the changes made during the current transaction. So let's say you started transaction and you want to make those changes permanent, then simply just write a commit and just execute. Your changes will be done permanent to the database. Next is rollback. What is the purpose? It just undoes all the changes made during the current transaction. So you have started transaction and you perform some activity. Now you don't want those changes. You can simply revert it back with just passing command called as a rollback. The last command is called as a save point or the save transaction. The purpose basically it sets a point within a transaction to which you can roll back. So for example, you started one big transaction. In the transaction you want to run some code in a blocks. So within a transaction you will create some kind of sub transaction that we call as a save point, and we can revert it back to the specific to that block, right? That's what called we basically call as a save point. Now let's jump to the practical demonstration. So here we are going to use a database called as the demo July 2024. This is our database. Now here I'm going to show you basically a table employee, right? Perfect. Now let's start with a commit. What is how to use commit? As I said, active transaction should be required when you are working with the TCL command. So now I started this transaction here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to insert some data into the table. So how would I write the code? I would simply write insert table. The name of table is basically this one, employee. And what are the different column? The column you can simply say, sorry, insert into. Then the first column name is basically empid. Then we have age. Then we have basically name. Just write some data values. Let's say 4. Then age is 30. Name is Sammy. Just close this. Now run it. Now remember one thing, you already started transaction. Now what you are going to do, I am asking you to see all the data from this table. So how would I see that? Just select start from the table. So I would see here 5 rows and this Sammy we just added, right? Now I personally feel no, I want to revert it back this row. So simply I will just pass the command called as a rollback, and after this I will go to my query and run it. See, I won't see here Sammy because that row has been rolled back. The same thing for the commit also. For example, I started my transaction here, I perform some activity. Let's imagine this one. I loaded data. If I just select the query now, I would see all Sammy also, right? Now I want to commit it. I want to make it permanent. So how I do that? So simply I just need to write commit and just select run it. Then this changes has been done to the database. Just run it. See, I can see Sammy here. Perfect. Now next thing is basically checkpoint. So first of all, I started this transaction. In the transaction, what I'm going to do, I am going to create some other sub transaction. So I'm just writing save transaction. So whatever below would be there, which will be pointing to this transaction only. Save transaction. Let's say transaction 1 trans 1, and inside this I am writing something like this. Correct. Now the next thing is basically I started transaction. Inside this transaction I have this, I started this save point, started. Then I perform some activity here. Then what I'm going to do, I am just roll back the transaction. So roll back transaction, which one, till trans 1, that's my save point. Just roll back. Okay, before that you can see data. See, Sammy is 2 times, right? Now I'm going to roll back this. I would see how many rows, only 1 row per Sammy, right? Then just close the outer transaction, commit. If you commit also, you won't see the latest one, right? Sam single time. Now I will perform the same thing. First I will start the transaction, then I will start the sub transaction here, then I will load the data. Now instead of come roll back, what I am going to do, I am going to commit this. Now see what will happen. Commit transaction, this one, commit this, then just I want, okay. Now see how many rows are there, 2 rows, right? Now what I'm going to do, instead of commit, I'm going to roll back now. Now see what will happen. See a single time sign. So two time transaction happen. This is the main transaction. You can simply say this is the main transaction, and this is a child transaction. This is the parent. This is the child. And here, if I write a commit, for example, now let's see what will happen. So I started parent transaction, then I started the child transaction here. That's a save point. Then loaded some data here. Then I committed this one. I can see data. Now I am just committing once again, right? Because we have not started. Okay, because committed means everything has already been committed, right? So this is basically the syntax to understand it. Hope you guys enjoyed our video related with the TCL command. And if you guys are really loving our videos, please comment over the comment section. It will help us to motivate and let us know that you guys are watching it. And thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.